for tuning in to this review. For those of you who are new, I am Oz, and I don't have a car to show you because it's at the workshop. Anyhow, so I have previously uploaded a video of how you can dry your car without touching it, or at least aiding the drying process without touching your car with the help of a leaf blower. However, I will show you around here. My garage is not that big, so going around with a leaf blower, specifically during winter time now, it's very cumbersome. It's rather large, and I bang it into the walls and shelves, and God forbid the car. So I thought I will upgrade it a bit and go for a more dedicated blower with a longer flexible hose. And I started to looking at what options that are out there, and I found out there we have the Metrovac, I think it's called the Master Blaster, and also we have something called the Big Boy, and then I found something called Bruhl, which is a German product, and as far as I can tell, the Big Boy and the Bruhl are exactly the same machine, but the colors are different, and of course the naming and so on, and also the price. So besides me, I have an unopened package from Amazon, and I thought I'll go walk you through the opening of it, and also an initial test of the dryer or blower or whatever you want to call it. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. So these are the things that were included in the box. So we have a manual or a guide. We have 3 different nozzles, one which is a bit wider, one in between, middle size or whatever we want to call it, and one round in diameter to increase the airspeed from the blower then. And these are some of the things I was missing with the leaf blower I have used since before, because that one is just a huge outlet then. Also, I almost missed these because I was wondering where they were, and they were hidden in the styrofoam on the backside, so that's one thing. If you get worried, they are there. The hose itself has some heft to it actually. It feels really sturdy. Hopefully it will be flexible enough, but as you can see, I can twist and turn it more or less the way I want. And also I would say it's 1.5 meters in retracted form, and from the specification I have read, it can then extend to 3 meters, which would hopefully be enough to cover one side of the car and then go around and do the other side. Also, the connections are hard plastic, so I think it's better to be a little bit cautious because of the environment we use these type of things. It's hard plastic, so yeah, and it got these sprints in them, so you would put it in here and twist, and it's secured here. And on the other side, it's just a push and pull. If you look at the machine itself, the housing is hard plastic. So also one thing, maybe the Big Boy is not. I have not read into the specification of the Big Boy, unfortunately. I'll link to the products that I've been talking about and the alternatives, and then you can have a look by yourself. However, the housing is completely in plastic. Maybe at some point in time I can open it up and we can have a look inside also what's inside. So on the front we have where we connect the hose. We have a switch which then says single turbine or twin turbine. Boost. So this runs on 2 engines at 1,400 watts each. So if you go on the twin turbine mode, I would then assume that both motors are in use. We have a handle on top, which is also plastic. On the side we got branding. It's some sort of cheap, I don't know, emblem. On the back side we have the cord. I bought this from UK, so this one came with a UK plug. I have to use a converter then to be able to plug it into Swedish outlets. The cover for the filter, plastic, you guessed right. It has these thumb screws, or whatever we want to call it, to actually remove it. And here we have the air filters. I have to read some, but if cleaning is needed and how often, or if they need to be replaced, and also I have to look up from an accessory point of view how available filters are, if need be, to change them. So let's get it hooked up, and I'll bring out the leaf blower and we can do some sort of a size comparison, and we take it for a test run. I brought out my Works leaf blower, which I have been using up until now, and as you can see from a, how should I say, length perspective, it's quite substantially different in size, as we have a hose which we can utilize on the Bruhl, and on this one we then have to live with a fixed nozzle then, which is rather big. Also, with a leaf blower you have to carry it around more or less all the time, so after a while it can get a bit heavy and strain your shoulders and arms. With this you only have the hose to carry, so to speak. The next thing I would like to do is to record how much sound they make, meaning how many decibels. So I have a simple application on my mobile phone, and we just try to measure them and see how much sound we will get from both. Let's go on ahead and start with the leaf blower. Also, I will run both at the max setting because I have experience on the leaf blower. To get the full result, I need to go on max, more or less, on all of the panel parts, etc. So I'll run both at their maximum setting, and then we will record the decibel readings. So with the Works leaf blower I saw a max of around 81 when I was close by the blower itself. Some distance, I don't know, what is it to the camera, maybe 1.5, 2 meters. It was reading around 77, 78 decibels. Without using any ear protection, I guarantee you can't use this in a closed environment like my garage here. We have now covered what's included in the box. We have spoken some about the build quality and the materials used on the machine. We have compared it from a size perspective to the Works leaf blower I have been using. And also we have done some sound comparison between the two and done some decibel readings with some simple equipment. Now to the most important part of the review and the product, is how it actually performs. Alright guys, so finally we have plus degrees outside and I can wash the car. That has not been possible the last couple of days, so we will do the regular 2-bucket wash, and then we will try to dry the car without putting any top coating on. I will try to do one drying of a panel without the top coating, and then I will apply the top coating and we will try to dry it as well, just to see the results. Behind me we have a wet Golf, which I will go over some parts with the Bruhl and some parts with the Works leaf blower, and let us analyze the results and also how the Bruhl is to work with in a small area like my garage. So I will start off with the widest nozzle on the Bruhl because we will cover some larger areas, so we will see how it will cope with that. And also I need to mention this car has unfortunately not received much TLC lately. It needs at least a top coating, and also I need to clay it, etc., and that has not been done. So this was a regular maintenance wash, or whatever we want to call it. But let's see anyhow how it will work with the Bruhl on this type of unprepped surface, so to speak. And in some time I will actually do a full winter maintenance prep on this one, and then we also can see the results when the car is fully detailed. So guys, as you may or may have not seen, it's quite difficult on the white paint. The water was not reacting as I would like it, because again, then this car has not received any treatment for a while now, so there is no beading. The water is not slipping off the surface, so the friction is quite high. So the results both from the Bruhl and the Works were similar. So for me, it doesn't make any difference, because I was looking to have a tool which is more flexible in this garage, which we have, which is not that big. But with that said, then, even though if the surface is fully prepped and so on, you would most likely have to use your drying towel to get the last pieces out. But the Bruhl in the nooks and crannies and so on, it's really good. It works really well, and also there is some heat being transferred in the hose from the motor of the blower, because it gets heated up, and that's transferred when you're actually blowing the car. So that's a neat feature, but I wouldn't say it would help that much in the actual drying process. So what we will do now is to apply Mcguire's fast finish. We will take the car outside after that and rinse it, and then we will bring it inside and we will try the Bruhl when we have a top coating on the car, which actually helps with the beading. I know it's a bit of cheating, because it will be a newly applied coating, which we will then test the product with. But it's better than nothing, and I'll do it for you. Alright guys, so now I am finished with applying the Mcguire's fast finish. I don't think it even took 20 minutes to do the whole car. As I mentioned, it's going to be somewhat a cheat for the Bruhl machine, because now the water will actually bead and slip off the surface much easier than before. But at least it will give some hint of the power, and also how the Bruhl is able to get the water off the vehicle if you maintain the vehicle. For me personally, my own car at least, I do take care of quite a bit. This one, as mentioned, has not received the TLC it needs lately. However, with that said, I think we'll bring the car outside and we rinse the hood off, and then we bring it back in, and to see how the Bruhl will manage that. Alright, so actually I had a change of mind. I will use the Bruhl outside to dry the car, because the water was slipping off too fast. So I will rinse it again, and we will use the Bruhl to dry off what is left on the vehicle. So we are back inside. It was pretty cold outside. So as we saw, the Bruhl did manage much better when we had a fresh coating of paint protection or a top coating on the car, which in this case was Mcguire's fast finish. So that was very much expected, but the results were very on par with the leaf blower, but much easier to use this as it's more flexible. I can get to the areas the way I want without having to carry a big leaf blower around. And also, as you saw, I did the hood and all the nooks and crannies in just a couple of minutes, if even that. And more or less 90-95% of the hood and front of the car was dry. Also, as the motors heat up, the air that is actually blown becomes warmer, so it makes holding the hose nicer as well when it's cold outside. However, how much that helps for drying the car, I don't know, but at least it must be better than blowing cold air or ambient air or whatever we want to call it onto the surface. So we have covered the fit and finish of the product, what's included in the box. We have compared it size-wise to the Works leaf blower I have been using since before. We have been comparing the sound levels of this compared to the Works leaf blower with a simple measuring tool, which was my phone. At least we saw some results there. And then also we have compared it to the Works leaf blower on a freshly dried and freshly cleaned car, and tried to dry it with the leaf blower and the Bruhl. The results were not staggering because there was quite a lot of friction on the paint job, as the car didn't have any recently applied top coating. And also we saw how this machine performs when we have a freshly applied top coating on the car, and when trying the machine out on that type of surface, it was excellent. It went really fast, and it's very flexible and very usable, specifically for all the nooks and crannies and getting all the water out. So that was it. All in all, I'm very satisfied with my purchase. Again, then I purchased this for 185 British pounds from Amazon UK. This was not available here in Sweden, so I ordered it from there, and it got shipped very quickly. I'll put a link below to Amazon where you can find this. Most likely you would be able to find it somewhere else, but Amazon for me is the #1 place to go when I'm trying to purchase stuff, because the service etc. is excellent, and no, I don't get any money or anything from Amazon for saying this. One last thing I will do is try to build some sort of plate with wheels on beneath here, so I can roll it around on the garage floor without having to lift it up all the time. So it's more easy to go around the car with this without having it stationary, so to speak. If you like this review, give me 2 thumbs up. If you didn't like, give me 1 thumb down. Please do subscribe. Until the next time, see ya.